The idea actually came from my mom. She was working with a couple in their 80s and was sort of hanging out with their friends and was paying attention to how much they were and weren't eating and drinking. And when they went into the hospital, they sometimes had these really bad outcomes. And she was wondering if, maybe they were having bad reactions to the medications because they didn't eat enough and they weren't drinking enough. Well, I don't know if she was right or not, but it seemed like an interesting idea. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that clinicians really don't have any way to measure the fluid levels and hydration of their patients. So I came up with a couple of ideas on how to measure it and bought some parts on eBay and built a little system. And sure enough, we could create a signal that was correlated to dehydration during exercise. So, here we are. I think it's kind of proof that all good ideas come from moms. It turns out that water absorbs light in pretty well understood ways, and water in the tissues responds the same way. Nobo takes advantage of that fact by shining light of a couple of different wavelengths into the tissues and measuring the amount of that light that's absorbed. And that turns out that absorption measurement tells you an awful lot about how much water is in the body as a whole. In fact, it also tells you a lot about some of the other things that are going on in the body. I think it's different in several ways. First, the technology lends itself to a single wearable device that's put on the body, and it can be really comfortable and sort of customized for any particular athlete or any particular sport. It doesn't have a lot of electrodes and things that have to be put on the body like some of the technologies out there. I think the second key thing is that we're looking at the full range of hydration and fluid status. It's not just dehydration, which a lot of companies are focused on. A lot of trainers will tell you that being overly hydrated is even more dangerous than dehydrated. But I think the most important part is the breadth of people we can monitor. When you look at the consumer world, you have applications where you can track the glasses of water that you drink, and you have smart water bottles. And when you look at critical care medicine, you have really, really intense, high accuracy needs. This technology can span, that entire spectrum of uses, from consumers to athletes to workers in really harsh environments like firefighters, all the way up to critical care. And the technology works for all of those people. I started my career as a co-op engineer, and I was lucky enough to wind up in a medical device company. And ever since, I've sort of pictured myself as a healthcare guy and creating technologies that can solve problems in healthcare. And I've always done it, and I've always been passionate about it. And it's just sort of always felt like what I was supposed to be doing. It is creating solutions that keep people healthy and keep them performing well and providing tools to people to manage and take care of others.